Okay, so I'm still being quiet. Boys are still asleep. I think one of them got up. Mr. Arbini was handling that, so he's in charge of the boys until I'm done with this. So I'm still going to stay quiet. If it's too quiet, you can have mom or dad or whoever send me a text and let me know that these videos are too quiet, but I'm hoping they're okay. So when we left off, Henry had asked his mom if he could stay up late the next night, kind of telling her he needed to catch all these worms. And she was saying to him, Henry, you always are getting yourself in such trouble. So we're going to find out today if Henry was able to get his night crawlers, if he was able to get enough, because 1,000 night crawlers it's a lot of really disgusting worms. Okay. Saturday was an anxious day for Henry. He wanted to avoid Scooter, but he also wanted to go to the park to make sure the grass was being watered. Unfortunately, he had to pass Scooter's house to reach the park. He walked on the other side of the street, but Scooter was in his front yard, tightening the chain on his bicycle. He shook his fist at Henry and yelled, "You get me that ball or I'll fix you." "You and who else?" Henry yelled back and kept on going. When he reached the park, he was relieved to hear the swish of the sprinklers and see water spraying over the grass. He would earn $13.95 before he went to bed that night. That evening, Henry didn't wait for dessert. He borrowed his father's flashlight and several old mayonnaise jars and ran down the hill to the park. It was a warm night and the tennis courts and swimming pool were floodlighted. It was only beginning to get dark, but Henry hoped it might be dark enough under the bushes to start catching worms. He couldn't afford to waste time. He passed the playground where he heard the children's shouts and the clang of the rings and the swings. Henry didn't stop. He had work to do. He went to the edge of the park where there were no lights and turned on his flashlight. Sure enough, there in the grass under a bush was a nightcrawler. Henry nabbed it and put it into the jar. Then he caught another. He caught worm after worm. 431, 432, 433. Henry was tired of pouncing. Henry was tired of worms. When the lights of the swimming pool went off, Henry was still working. By the time the lights of the tennis courts went off, Henry was very, very tired of worms. But he kept on. When he had added the 1,103rd worm to his collection, he heard someone calling, "Henry, Henry, where are you?" It was his mother. "Here I am." As Henry stood up to rest his aching back, he saw his mother and father walking along the path. "My goodness, Henry," Mrs. Huggins exclaimed. "Haven't you caught those worms yet? You can't stay out in the park alone at night." "But, Mom, I don't have enough worms to pay for Scooter's football, and I promised to get him a new one this week. I have 1,103 worms, and I need to catch 1,331 altogether. I had some money saved, and I earned some last night." "Let's see. He needs 228 more. It shouldn't take long to catch him," Mr. Huggins said to Mrs. Huggins. "After all, he promised. Let's help him." So Henry and his mother and father bent and pounced together. Henry felt a little uncomfortable to see his mother catching worms, but he was very, very glad when the 1,331st worm was in the jar. He took his jars of worms to Mr. Grumby, who paid him $13.31. As Henry watched him turn the night crawlers into a box of dirt so they would live until Sunday, he thought he never wanted to see another worm. He felt the money in his pocket. "I guess this ought to take care of old Scooter," he said, and wishing he could spend it on a football for himself, he went home to bed. Sunday morning, Henry lay on his stomach on the living room floor reading the funny papers. The funny papers is like the comics. They used to, I'm sure they still do, but back in the day, children, people used to get newspapers delivered to their homes. I'm sure some people still do. And the funny papers were the comics, kind of the fun, silly part of the paper, kind of cartoons. Usually he woke up early and read the funnies before his mother and father were awake. But this morning he was so tired from catching worms that he slept later than usual. The doorbell rang, and Mr. Huggins, who was reading the sports section and drinking coffee, put down his paper and answered the door. Henry heard a strange man ask, "Excuse me, could you tell me who owns this football?" Henry didn't wait for his father to answer. He ran to the door. The man was holding Scooter's real cowhide football, stitched with nylon thread and laced with buckskin thongs. "Golly," said Henry, "that's the football I lost for Scooter McCarthy." The man handed it to Henry. I'm sorry I couldn't stop when the ball landed in my car. I had to take my wife to the hospital in a hurry. I would have returned it sooner, but I couldn't leave the kids. That's okay, said Henry. Gee, thanks for bringing it back. When the man had gone, Henry showed the football to his father. See, Dad, he said, this is the kind of football I'm going to buy with my Nightcrawler money. Then he tucked the football under his arm as if he was running 90 yards for a touchdown and sprinted down the street to Scooter's house. So this time, it all worked out pretty well for Henry, right? The man showed up with the football, so Scooter got his back. And then Henry had earned just enough money that he could now buy his own football. Pretty cool. That's the end of that chapter. We'll start a new chapter tomorrow and see what happens to Henry next. See you guys later.